world, and it seems like you just forgot everything.
Thank you. Please be seated. It's a historic day here in the 4th Department. Welcome all. So good afternoon. Welcome to our ceremony honoring the first ever recipient of the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I'm Gerald Whalen, presiding justice of the 4th Department, and it's my honor and privilege to open today's award ceremony named in honor of a jurist whose career is a case study in dedication, fairness, and lifelong public service. My colleague, my friend, the Honorable Shirley Troutman. We are thrilled that Judge Troutman was able to step away from her intensely busy schedule at the Court of Appeals to join us this afternoon in her old stomping grounds, Samuel L. Green Courtroom. It's a very special occasion. Judge Troutman's husband and my friend, Ken Turner's here. Welcome, Ken. In addition to Judge Troutman, I'd like to welcome several distinguished members of the judiciary who are in attendance this afternoon. From the Office of Court Administration, Deputy Chief Administrative Judge Edwina Richardson not only leads the Unified Court System's Office for Justice Initiatives, Justice Richardson is one of the key leaders in our court system. If you were to try and say that Justice Richardson had one role, you would be so wrong. All the leaders, trust me, all the leaders who I'm very, very familiar with in the court system, we have issues, we have problems, we have thoughts that we need some advice on. Judge Richardson's the person we go to. She's terrific. Thank you for being here. From the 4th Department, sitting on our panel, we have Senior Associate Justice Stephen Lindley. And I'll ask you just raise your hand so everybody knows who you are. Justice Mark Montour. Justice E. Jeanette Ogden. And Justice Donald Greenwood. You have to make sure the applause is the same. Judge Greenwood has a gauge for sound, so he knows if he got the same amount of applause. Also from the 4th Department, we have Justice John Curran, Justice Tracy Bannister, Justice Henry Nowak, Justice Scott Del Conte, Justice Lynn Kane, and Justice Craig Hanna. I want to express her sincere regret for not being here. Justice Nancy Smith would be here. She's here at all these events. Her husband's undergoing a medical procedure that required her to be away from the court this afternoon, and she really wanted me to extend to both you, Shirley, and Judge Fenneman Reed. She wishes she could be here. From the Appellate Division, 1st Department, we have a guest coming from another department, Justice Barb Kapnick. Thank you for making the trip from New York City. From the 7th Judicial District, Administrative Judge William Taylor. Bill. Justice Kevin Naska, who I just met a few minutes ago, is here also. And although youthful, recently retired Justice Craig Dorn, former AJ. From Monroe County Family Court, we have Supervising Judge Stacy Romeo. We have Justices Fatima Reed, who you'll be hearing from, Daryl Givens, Tanya Ettinger, Maria Kubulos Reed, and Alicia Mazo. And from Monroe County Court, we have Justice Caroline Morrison. From Rochester City Court, we have Judges Michael Lopez, Constant Patterson, and Nicole Morris. From Auburn City Court, we have Judge Kristen Garland. And from Brighton Town Court, we have Justice Vikram Vilku. Now, if there are any members of the judiciary in attendance who I have missed, I encourage you wholeheartedly to direct your complaints to our acting court clerk, Alan Ross, who assisted me in preparing my remarks for today. It is now my distinct honor to introduce the Honorable Shirley Troutman. When the 4th Department's Committee on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion first proposed the idea of an award named in honor of the Honorable Shirley Troutman, I could not have been more eager to support this endeavor. As Judge Troutman's career path reads like a blueprint for leadership in public service. She began her career as an assistant district attorney in Erie County. She then became a U.S. attorney for the Western District of New York. In 1994, she was appointed Buffalo City Court judge and then ran and was elected to a full 10-year term. She's handled in that capacity thousands of criminal arraignments, civil matters, landlord-tenant cases, small claim matters, the essential day-in, day-out work that impacts people's lives directly. Having just that experience and being on the court where she is now just adds such value to her opinions and her thoughts on cases. Then she moved on to serve as a judge in the Erie County Court, then as a justice of the New York State Supreme Court in the 8th Judicial District. In 2016, she was appointed to serve as a justice of the Appellate Division, 4th Department. And in 2022, she was appointed and confirmed as an associate judge on New York State's highest court, the Court of Appeals. She is only the second black woman to serve on that court, a historic milestone that she's very humble about, but which speaks volumes about progress, representation, and the responsibility that this jurist shoulders. Beyond her judicial roles, Judge Troutman has shown unwavering commitment to mentorship, education, and justice in the community. She has been an adjunct professor at SUNY Buffalo Law School, teaching the next generation of lawyers, and as co-chair of the Franklin H. Williams Commission, she advises the unified court system on issues affecting employees and litigants of color. The award that we're presenting today is intended to recognize a court system employee within the 22 counties of the 4th Department who demonstrates an outstanding commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion through strong leadership and sustained effort with a focus on programs, policies, and external engagements with litigants and the public. Now, as we present this award, we're doing more than giving out a plaque. We're affirming that the virtues Judge Troutman, formerly Justice Troutman, embodies, that's fairness, courage, accessibility, and community engagement. That's what our justice system should reward, and what each of us should be held to aspire to. This award celebrates not only Judge Troutman's many achievements, but what she stands for. breaking ceilings, opening doors, and ensuring that justice is not an abstraction, but a lived reality for everyone who comes before the court. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Shirley Troutman.
Oh, there's Ann and the babies.
I can change.
Oh, it's hard to believe that 9 years have passed since I first joined the Appellate Division, 4th Department, as an Associate Justice. My return is bittersweet because when my tenure began here, I shared the happy occasion with Justices John Curran and Patrick Nemoyer, who were also designated as members of the court with me on February 19, 2016. However, although Justice Curran is still a member of the court, Justice Nemoyer has left us to join a heavenly court. At the 4th Department, to my amazement, I not only was given the opportunity to influence what justice looks like in this great state, I was also given lifelong colleagues and friends. So today, on my return, I wish to thank Presiding Justice Whalen, Associate Justices Lindley and Ogden, and the entire court for this very special recognition of having established in my name the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. To say that I am humbled by your display of generosity is an understatement. I also want to take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge that all that I do is made possible by having the support of my husband, Kenneth Turner, my law clerks, Patrick Sheldon, Ivan Lee, and Laura Groscheidel, and my assistant, Michelle McCullough. Each of them helps me to bring to life my ideas, no matter how big or small, and for that I am eternally grateful. Today, we have gathered to celebrate the value of diversity, equity, and inclusion, not only in this community, but in the whole United States. Moreover, we celebrate those principles because when we give of ourselves, we serve by example as role models for making the world a better place than it was when we entered it. Those who have visited my chambers in Buffalo, Rochester, and Albany have noticed one constant throughout the many years that I've been privileged to serve as a judge. In each of those locations is the presence of a photo of Thurgood Marshall. I keep his image present to remind me that none of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody bent down and helped us pick up our boots. Those words remind me that whether I'm doing work as co-chair of the Franklin H. Williams Judicial Commission, serving as a trial judge, or rendering decisions as a judge on the Court of Appeals, diversity, equity, and inclusion is never a bad thing. It is, in fact, a righteous thing, a good thing, which is why in the great state of New York, included on our seal is the phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. Today, I am honored that the Appellate Division, 4th Department, is bestowing this inaugural award upon family court judge Fatima Oreed. She is someone who has worked tirelessly to use her own life experiences as a beacon of hope for others. In addition, she puts into action each day, both on and off the bench, efforts demonstrating that she values all members of her community. The result is indisputable evidence of what happens when our society recognizes the worth of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thus, I am truly honored that she has been selected as the first recipient of the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. As I yield the microphone, let me end by thanking everyone at the 4th Department for this very special homecoming.
It's now my pleasure to introduce Deputy Chief Administrative Judge and leader of the Unified Court System Office for Justice Initiatives, the Honorable Edwina Richardson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is my pure honor, delight, pleasure, and privilege to be with you at this inaugural Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This prestigious award recognizes a unified court system employee within the 22 counties of this beautiful department, the 4th Department, who demonstrates an outstanding commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion through strong leadership and sustained efforts with a focus on programs, policies, and/or external engagement with litigants and the public. I honestly cannot think of a more deserving candidate for this great and prestigious honor than the one you have chosen today. Well, perhaps Judge Troutman. And thank you for this opportunity to join you and speak today, because this, first of all, I get to honor two beloveds today. The first, if you know me, you know I have a thing for Shirleys. My late mother is a Shirley. My daughter is a Shirley. Shirley Chisholm, Congresswoman Shirley, and then the undeniable, also unbowed, unbought, and unbossed Shirley Troutman. I have a thing for Shirleys. And Judge Reed, my beloved. This award is such a well-earned tribute to you and your life of service, and to you and your life of service. Judge Reed embodies all of the amazing qualities of all of those magnificent Shirleys I love. Great wisdom, strength, clarity of purpose, perseverance, honor, loyalty, grit, big-heartedness, and a justice-loving lens. Off the bench, her equal justice work is unparalleled. She travels nationally promoting equal justice, taking with her what she has learned from the 7th Judicial District and the 4th Judicial Department. She travels nationally to learn and to teach others. I had the privilege of being with her recently in Alabama, learning where we learned, and she taught as she learned. A few weeks ago, digging soil in the Adirondacks. She travels the state as well, digging soil to honor the memory of a lynched man in the New York region as part of the Equal Justice Initiatives in Alabama's programming. So her and that's just the tip of her community endeavors. Her extrajudicial equal justice work is nothing short of extraordinary. And she has a day job. I sometimes forget because I call upon her and we call upon her to do so much in the community. But earlier today, I got to witness her in action on the bench, dispensing justice in her own remarkable, unique way in the family court, the court of my heart. Someone gifted her with flowers today. You know who you are, and that person gifted her with a note. And that note, I got to, I'm nosy, so I read the note that somebody else gave her today, but the note just embodies who she is in the courtroom. I won't tell the person's name because I don't have their permission. Dear Judge Reed, congratulations on receiving the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award. You bring so much heart, compassion, and humility to the bench, which brings comfort to families who are otherwise going through a very difficult time. It has been such a blessing to appear in your courtroom. Thank you for making a difference in so many people's lives and for becoming someone I can look up to. I'm going to end with a few thank yous. Thank you, Presiding Justice Whalen, and your amazing team for thinking of and creating this amazing honor. Thank you, Judge, Justice, Judge, beloved Troutman, honorable in all things, for all the work you've done over a lifetime to promote justice. Thank you to Judge Reed's beautiful children and family. Thank you for sharing your remarkable mom with us all. Thank you for that. And her family and friends who are here or not here who support you and share you with us all. Congratulations, my dear friend, my dear colleague, my beloved sister. Congratulations.
I would now like to introduce Associate Justice of the Appellate Division, 4th Department, and co-chair of our court's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, the Honorable E. Jeanette Ogden.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the 4th Department's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, I want to thank all of you, everyone here, for attending our inaugural presentation of the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We are honored to present this award to the Honorable Fatima Reed, who constantly demonstrates an outstanding commitment to the goals of diversity, equity, and inclusion through strong leadership and sustained efforts. Judge Reed was nominated and selected for this award because of her tireless commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we want to thank Judge Bill Taylor for making that excellent nomination. Judge Reed serves as the district-wide coordinating judge for diversity, equity, and inclusion projects and serves on several committees as part of the 7th District Embracing Our Community initiative. In addition, she participates in the Franklin H. Williams Commission's Judicial Mentor Program, which pairs attorneys interested in becoming judges with a judicial mentor. And we are so thankful today that Ms. Carleen Dennis, Executive Director of the Franklin Williams Commission, has come up here today to join us in celebrating this award. So on behalf of my fellow co-chairs, Brittany Jones, Mary Ann Crissa, and Sierra Clark, and all of the members of the 4th Department Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, for which I ask that they please stand so that you can see them and acknowledge them. We want to congratulate you, Judge Fatima Reed, on your efforts to make our courts more reflective of our community, our systems more equitable and just, and our spaces more inclusive to everyone who enters our court system. Congratulations.
It's now my privilege to present the Honorable Shirley Troutman Award for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to its first ever recipient, the Honorable Fatima Reed. Judge Reed is the first African-American woman to serve as a family court judge in Monroe County. Judge Reed has dedicated her career to improving outcomes for underserved communities. She demonstrates that diversity, equity, and inclusion are not abstract ideals, but daily responsibilities. And she models the truth that our courts are strongest when they reflect and respect the communities we serve. Early in her career, Judge Reed worked as part of the Child Welfare Court Improvement Project, where she partnered with legal and judicial professionals to better serve children and families in the difficult abuse and neglect cases. That passion for equity has carried through to her role today as a family court judge in Monroe County and as the district-wide coordinating judge for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the 7th Judicial District. In her district-wide role, Judge Reed's efforts to ensure that the court system serves all populations have been tireless. Through her Embracing Our Community initiative, she has led efforts to create, advance, and sustain an environment of inclusivity. For example, Judge Reed helped design and implement the Judicial Observation Project, inviting members of the public into the courthouse within the 7th JD to observe proceedings and reflect on implicit bias. And she developed the Youth in Court orientations so that young people in foster care could attend permanency hearings with knowledge, context, and a sense of empowerment. Judge Reed also worked with the Monroe County Clerk's Office to bring a mobile DMV unit to the Hall of Justice, ensuring that youth without driver's licenses or state IDs could obtain them right at the courthouse. Judge Reed's leadership extends beyond Monroe County. In 2024, Judge Edwina Richardson, who you just heard from, invited her to attend with her to Selma, Alabama, a National Judicial College's anti-racist courtroom training. There, Judge Reed studied strategies to address structural racism, including innovative exercises like the Monopoly simulation that illustrates inequities in housing and opportunity. She returned from that experience determined to incorporate those lessons into our New York courts. Judge Reed, we are lucky to have the benefit of your dedication to inclusivity at work within the 4th Department. On behalf of this court, and in honor of Judge Troutman's vision, I am proud to present you with the very first Shirley Troutman Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I promise I'm going to try hard to get through this. I always tell everyone after I turned 40, all of a sudden I started crying. I didn't cry a lot before, but my life has just been so rich in the past few years, and to have my 5 beautiful children here with me today, I'm so grateful. And so Judge Troutman, Presiding Justice Whalen, Justice of the Appellate Court, Judge Richardson, Judge Taylor, esteemed members of the judiciary, colleagues, friends, and families. To stand before you today, here in this historic courtroom, surrounded by leaders that I deeply admire and have really admired from close and afar over the years, it's very, very overwhelming for me, and it is also very humbling. Never could I have imagined that the little girl who once struggled to speak, read, and write English while navigating a new country, new schools, new systems, would one day stand in this very space in the presence of such distinction, dignity, receiving an award that reflects the very essence of the work that I hold dear. This is not just a moment of celebration. It is a sacred affirmation of how far we can come, how high we can climb, and how deeply we can serve when we believe in something greater than ourselves. I also want to thank everyone here at the 4th Department and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee who worked so diligently to organize this truly remarkable event and this award ceremony. I am so grateful to you all. To be the very first recipient of an award named after the Honorable Shirley Troutman is one of the greatest honors of my life. Judge Troutman, you have not only blazed a trail, you have nurtured and watered the path so that others like me could walk it with confidence and climb even higher. You have never been content with simply opening a door. You hold it open, you stand in it, you call others in, you stand behind them, beside them, and sometimes in front of them, shielding them until they are ready to lead. Thank you for being a model of judicial excellence, integrity, and fearless compassion. You remind us that justice is not about rules, it's about people. You inspire us to lead with courage and to anchor our work in love, and I am so grateful to you. Before I left Nigeria as a child, my grandmother embraced me, and she said in our native Yoruba language, "You are going to America. You will have every opportunity to do something with your life. You will succeed, but remember that success is not only for you. It is to uplift everyone that comes after you. So find ways you can serve them with everything that you have learned." Those words have never left me. They carried me through every foster home I lived in, every courtroom I entered as a young attorney, and every law book I opened as I struggled to understand a system I was still learning. And they remain with me now as I serve on the bench, lead district-wide initiatives, and work alongside the brilliant minds that are in this very room to reimagine what equity and inclusion can look like in the New York State court system. Her words taught me a truth that I carry to this day, that success is never about status. It is always about service. To Presiding Justice Whalen, I know you remember, I just want to thank you for believing in me, for opening doors for me, and for giving me opportunities to lead. Your confidence affirmed that I belonged at the table, and I will never forget that. So thank you. To my Judge Edwina Richardson, and I say my, I know other people try to claim you, but I claim you first. Your passion, foresight, and fortitude inspire me to go deeper and be better in this work. You remind me that doing this work with excellence, it's not optional, it is essential. And because people are counting on us. To Administrative Judge Bill Taylor, my very tall friend. Thank you for your steady support, your encouragement, and your willingness to expand this work throughout the 7th Judicial District. You never hesitate to say yes, when it is in the service of people, and for that I am truly grateful. To former Administrative Judge Craig Doran, how are you? You look very tan today.
High blood pressure.
I also want to take a moment to thank you, Judge Doran. Despite party lines or alliances, when I came into the Hall of Justice, you saw my leadership skills and my desire to make a change, both within our building and in the broader community. For that trust and recognition, I am truly, truly, deeply grateful for what you've done. To my colleagues across the 7th Judicial District, especially those who are working tirelessly through the Embracing Our Community Committee. A visionary may carry the dream, but it takes a team to build the foundation and raise the structure. You are that team. If you work on any of the EOC subcommittees, I would ask you to please now stand. I want to publicly acknowledge the labor of love, the creativity, and the countless hours and volunteer hours that you all have poured into our mission. Your work ensures that justice is not only delivered, but it is felt by everyone that comes into our courts. At this point, I would be remiss. I must pause to acknowledge my faith in God. The truth is that none of this that I have done in my life, or all these fancy awards that I seem to now be getting, none of this could have been possible without His mercy and His grace. God has carried me through the valleys and lifted me to the mountaintops. He has been my protector, my guide, and my sustainer. I give Him all the glory for everything that I have accomplished, and I remain deeply grateful for His presence in my life. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a footnote in the court system. It is the framework through which justice must flow. In courtrooms where people come during the hardest moments of their lives, they must see themselves reflected. They must feel that they are heard. They must trust that the system honors their dignity. That is why this work is so important, not just in theory, but in action. You know, many people often ask me what drives me to keep going and to continue to do this work. The answer is simple. I look at my children, and they're all so beautiful sitting here. They are. And I know they're very embarrassed by this award, but it's okay. It's okay. And I also look at other children I encounter through the programs in the 7th Judicial District and beyond. As a foster child and later as a young woman in college and law school, I often felt alone and unseen. I longed for someone to give me a chance. I didn't know how to get there, but I had a heart that desired success. Through the love of a few angels who came into my life, some who were watching, like Erica Yu and Monica Smith, I was able to attain those goals that I never imagined possible. Now, when I lead the programs, when I sit at tables making decisions, I think about the children who are still unseen and unheard. I think about how to provide them with opportunities for empowerment, dignity, and success. And I often ask myself, when we are all gone, what will we leave behind? How will the courts look for the next generation? My hope is that they will see a judiciary that reflects the diversity of voices and experiences in our communities, that they will inherit a system that is truly worthy of their trust. And I would not be standing here without my family. To my mother, Elizabeth, my brother, Lanray, and my sister, Hadijah, I want to thank you all for your support, for your love, for your prayers, and for always having my back. And to my children, who are my greatest joy and my greatest motivation, sorry. Everything I do with you all in mind. You make every sacrifice worth it. And to my dear friends, many of them who are here, Taryn, say hi to the people. Tanya, Maria, Kendra, Kim, both Kims, Ashley, Susan, and so many more of you who are in this room. I smile because you're not just supportive when I come up with big ideas, and I know you all think I have a lot of big ideas, but you are always at the front of the line, ready to execute, to build, and to make it happen, and I am beyond blessed to be able to walk this journey with you. To my court staff, Brenda and Allison, you have entered a season and have joined in this mission. I am so grateful to have you both in my life. This award is not an endpoint for me. It is a charge to remember where I came from, to honor those who helped me rise, to lift others as I was lifted, and to ensure that every person who enters our courts, that justice does not feel like a stranger to them, but like a promise fulfilled. So I end here with the words of my grandmother still echoing in my heart. Your success is not only for you. Serve those who come after you with everything that you have learned. And I intend to do just that. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Judge Reed. Now I would like to introduce Sierra Clark, co-chair of our court's DEI committee, to present a gift to Judge Troutman and Judge Reed. Thank you, Sierra. We have a reception planned just outside the courtroom, and all here are welcome. And with that, we are adjourned.